So this is the intro riff. So let's talk about that awesome intro riff. So all these chords are power chords or 5 chords. Okay, so you're going to be pivoting off of the open A string. So we do this first one, it's going to be on the 10th fret of the D string and the 12th fret of the G string. So we get a, and I'm doing a down up pick, but you could do all downstrokes. Or you can go down up picking. So basically what you're doing is you're just basically moving that 5 chord, which this is a C5 power chord. You're moving that down. So and we start it here on the 10th fret. We're going to move to the 9th fret, to the 8th fret, and to the 7th fret. And that's going to repeat 2 times. So let's play that slowly again. Now all we're doing is moving everything up an octave, okay, or down an octave, any which way you want to look at that. So this is a C, chord here, C5 chord here, then we're moving it to this C5 chord here, or you could play it here in the 8th position. So we're still using that open A string. So we're doing a so again, moving down chromatically, so we're starting 3rd fret, first finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the D string. So we do a, move it down for a half step, move it down again another half step, and then another half step down is an A5 chord. So we have C, D, A sharp, and A. Those are all 5 chords. Same thing down here. So let's put those 2 together. And then we go into the first verse. So it's the first verse is a, I'll play it through one time. And it goes right back into intro riff. So the verses are all the same, so there's nothing different. So if you learn the first verse, then you've learned all 3 verses. Okay, so the first one is an A5, and we're switching from that to a G5. So I'm playing open A string, and my first finger's on the 2nd fret of the D. I'm doing a, so 3 downstrokes, 3. Then I'm grabbing this G5 power chords to the C5, and the G5 is going to be 3rd fret of the low E, 5th fret of the A. So we have A5, G5, and then end on a C5 and let that ring. So we have 3 downstrokes, 1 downstroke on the G, 2 on the C5. And then we do these little pick scrapes. Now that's just, a pick scrape is just basically where you're laying your fingers across the strings, but you're not actually fretting. So you get a, now you can do that from here, or we can do it from down here and grab the A5. For some reason, for me, it just seems a little more natural to grab it down here in the 5th position. And all that is A5, G5 to F. Okay, so we'll play that slowly. And then we're going to let that last chord sustain the F. And we're going to slide all the way back down to the A5 again. Hold the C5, pick scrapes. Again, before we go into the chorus, we're going to go down to G5 and then G sharp 5. So let us play that whole verse one more time through, just to kind of give you an idea how it all fits together. So. And we're back into that introduction riff. So that is pretty much all the rhythm guitar for the main riff, the verses. The only thing that's different is the guitar, rhythm guitar underneath the guitar solo. So if you don't want to learn the solo and you just want to play the rhythm guitar, I'll show you that. So we have it's basically just a... So basically what you're doing, you're going to bar your first finger across the second fret of the D, G, and B string. And then in between, we're going to alternate playing the third fret of the B string and the fourth fret of the D string. So we have a... And it's okay to hit that open A. You're actually supposed to. I didn't on the first one, but you're actually supposed to hit the open A with this. All downstroke, so it's just basically just, you know, putting your fingers down and raising your fingers up and putting your fingers down and raising your fingers up on that, so you're not actually moving from that position. Now the next part is into an E, and we're doing a... And that's on the second fret of the D and G. We're going to have our first finger on the first fret of the G string. We're just doing it's like a major third, E major third interval to a perfect fourth. Play that again slowly. And repeats again. And then we go back again to the first A chord, play that same riff again. Back here. So your hand's really not moving from the second position. This is a really unique part here. I really like this part. So it's this kind of little climb up the fretboard. So we need to clean that up a little bit here. And we hold. And then we're back into the... So let's go over that little climb there. So the first one's going to be you're fretting on the first fret of the G string with your first finger, and then you're playing the open B and E. So it's... Okay, we're going to go down to the second fret of the G and the B, and leave the high E open. So we have... We're going to go down and play the third fret of the B, fourth fret of the G, leave the high E open. Shift down a whole step, play the 5th fret of the B, 6th fret of the G, high E is open. Play the 7th fret of the G, B, and open high E. Play the 9th fret of the G, B, open high E. And then we're just keeping this shape right here. We're playing 10th fret of the B, 11th fret of the G, open high E. So you're just walking that down 3 frets. So that would be if I'm counting, if I'm using my first finger as a reference fret to slot, I'm going 10, 11. So it's going to start in the 5th position. So if you're playing the A minor scale, the blues scale, or excuse me, A minor pentatonic scale, not the A minor scale. 5-note scale. You've all seen that, familiar with that scale. That's where the solo is going to start. So this first part, we're playing. We're going to kind of anchor our fingers here from the 7th fret of the G to the 5th fret of the B and high E. So now we're going to, it's okay to let your thumb go across the top of the neck there if you want to, try to mute some more strings that way. I definitely wouldn't grab it like a baseball bat. You want that thumb to be moving freely behind the neck. So the first part is a. Okay, so you're playing this as a chord. So you're playing the G and B string together. You're going to bend up about a half step only on the G string. Even though you're playing the B, you're not going to bend the B, just the G. And then once you bend up about a half step, you're going to let go here on this D note on the G string on the bend. And then just play B and high E on the 5th fret. So we get. We have that cool little lick there. So there's a couple ways you can play that lick. I like to play it with a pull-off. So the pull-off's going to be, from 8, 7, 5 on the G string. So 8, 7, 5, 7, 5. So it sounds like fast. Or you can play it with a little bend. So it's a little half bend there on the 7th fret. So you're doing it, but you're going to bend up and let the note come back down. So we bend up, let the note come back down, pull off to the 5th fret, back to the 7th fret, end on the 5th fret. So let's play what we have so far. All right. So the next part we're doing, it has to do with a pinch harmonic. And a pinch harmonic is basically where you're kind of bearing down with the flesh of your thumb right after you strike the string with the plectrum. So you get a kind of high-pitched tone there. Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top, master of pinch harmonic. Zakk Wylde uses them all the time. So, but real cool technique to add to your guitar soloing repertoire. So we're playing the exact same solo pattern as we did in the beginning. So we have. So when you hit that pinch harmonic on the 7th fret of the G, you want to let that come all the way back down. And then you're going to finish on the 5th fret of the G and 7th fret of the D. So again. Okay, but the only thing that's different there is the ending note, which is going to be on the 14th fret of the B string. You're bending up. A little bit of a bend there at the end of at the top of the bend, and then you're basically just continue to fret the note and just take it up the fretboard and back down. Just let it kind of trail off. So it sounds like this. Let's get this lick in there. So we're gonna. So that's again that bend here on the 7th fret of the G, about a half bend, and then we're barring across the 5th fret of the B and high E, and we're playing this and letting all this ring. Okay, and then we have this cool little blues run there. So we play a bend, that's a half bend on the 7th fret of the G, and then a pull off from the 7th fret to the 5th fret of the G. And I would grab this note, the A note, on the D string with your middle finger, because you're going to need to be able to get back to this D note on the G string, 7th fret, very quickly. And that little walk down, that's just a 7th fret of the G, 5th fret of the G, 7th fret of the D, 5th fret of the D, 7th fret of the A, 5th fret of the A, and let that ring and slide on the A string to the 3rd fret from the 5 to the 3. So okay, so Chuck Berry lick doesn't change, but we're going to add a little something to it. Another staple Ace Frehley guitar technique. Plays this in a lot of his solos. So we're doing so again, anchoring everything here at the 7th fret and 5th fret. So nothing changed there. We're just going to add this little pull off from the 8th fret to the 5th fret of the B. G and B together first. G, B, high E, pull off. Now, for me, this is just some advice, just a tip on technique. If you can pick up on that last note on the high E before you come back to the pull off that occurs from the 8th fret to of the B string to the 5th fret, it will feel like you'll be able to play faster, and it'll be more rhythmic. The technique will work better for you. So it's versus up. You can do it with all downstrokes, and if that's what makes you comfortable, then definitely you go with that. You know, that's just a recommendation. Is when you come into this, make sure you pick up on that high E string and down pick on the 8 to 5 on the B string. So we have and that's just a pull off from 7 to 5 on the G string, and then ending here on the 7th fret of the D. And then we have that same pull off we had earlier from the 8-7 5 on the G. So and that's going to be a pull off from 7, 5, 7th fret of the A, and on the 5th fret of the D. So we'll play this slowly. Okay, we're doing basically the same Chuck Berry licks, but we're doing this lick. So let's go over that. So we're basically doing a bend here on the 14th fret of the G, and then you're barring here on the 12th fret of the B and high E. So we got 15th fret of the high E, 12th fret of the high E, 14th fret of the high E. And then we get 15th fret of the B, 12th fret of the B. And then we repeat that. So this is a tough lick. And that comes to 15, 14, 12. So we have 15, 12, 14. And then back to the 14, 12. And that's just, from here we go 14, 15, 12 on the G. Play all this together slowly. The next part, very similar to the lick before, but we're kind of stopping that halfway through, so we're doing a same thing as before, so 15, 12, 14, then 15, 12 on the B string. So a little half bend here on the 14th fret of the B. So bend it up, bring it back down, hit it again, 12, and then end on the 12th fret of the G. So we have it's going to repeat again. And then the last part is a little bend, like a repetitive lick that he's doing here on the 14th fret and 12th fret of the G, and it's like and that's just, so I'm basically coming here from the 12th fret to the 14th fret, and then I'm just kind of doing about a half bend.